show us the edge. Yes. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the outlook. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, you want it all. This ain't a bluff, been built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show them the proof, show them the it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all joining us for this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. I'm Big Q. Lexxah will be joining us momentarily. Shout out to the fam. The Pels take down the Bucks 107-100, baby. That's right. The Pelicans, really solid win. Good effort by the Pelicans. They didn't allow the Milwaukee Bucks to fight back in this thing. But listen, fam, in that third quarter, man, Giannis had 18 points straight. I was like, we got to pop that tire, man. We got to throw some nails on the ground, man. We got to slow them down. But the Pelicans did what they needed to do to stop them, baby. And the Pelicans get the dub. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Much love to the entire flocking nation, man. How about the Pels, man? Pels get the dub tonight. 45-28. We'll bounce to Coach Willie Green at the post press conference momentarily. But first, baby, I want y'all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing, man, and the Pelicans handle the dub against them there stinking Bucks, man. Listen, like I said, man, Herb Jones. How about Herb Jones, man? Can't say enough about that, brother. But anyway, before we get off into that, man, let me see if Willie is ready to.
We're super grateful and really just thanking God for this victory and this opportunity to coach this team. That was a gutsy win on our home floor. And like you said, it was a good defensive performance by us. We played with force from start to finish. Even when we couldn't hit shots, we still continued to make winning plays.
You guys went to that zone, I think, in the second quarter. Just what was your kind of take on how that helped you guys tonight?
It's helping us big time. It allows us to not be in as many rotations. They can't seek out matchups. And it's kind of throwing teams off their rhythm.
Z got to the free throw line 16 times tonight. What did you think about him just, attacking over and over again?
Z's been amazing. Night in and night out, he is putting the team on his shoulders, and he's carrying us. And he's guarding, he's rebounding, he's making simple plays to his teammates. The guys are rallying around him. Collectively, it was a big-time effort on all of our guys that stepped on the floor. They came out, and the game plan discipline was at a high level.
Yeah, big part of that OKC loss a couple nights ago was just not making enough plays in the final few minutes. What did you like about just the way you guys executed on both ends to finish this game?
It was better. It was better tonight than it was OKC, and that's the goal for us, is to continue to recognize this is an area of improvement. We try to be honest with each other, watch it on tape, get on the floor and continue to work at it. And tonight was great carryover.
And Zion said after that game, I got to demand the ball more a little bit in those situations. Just what did you think about just the way he played late in this game, and how important is it just for him to get more reps in those situations where he's the guy closing games out?
It's extremely important, and these are playoff-like games for us and other teams. And he had one of those moments again tonight where he needed to get the ball in his hands. He went and got it. I think he drove and went to the free throw line. So that was growth on his part, growth on our part as a group. And I also want to highlight JV. JV was awesome tonight. He is, sometimes we're putting him in a tough spot because we're going small, not his usual minutes, but he stays positive. He's a professional. His teammates all love him, and he's truly a blessing to coach.
Yeah, speaking of areas of growth, in a physical game that went back and forth for Trey to grab 11 rebounds, how big was that tonight?
Huge step in the right direction for Trey. Another night where he didn't necessarily have it going offensively, but he continued to focus on all of the winning concepts and components that don't involve scoring. And he hit 2 big shots for us down the stretch, and it was because he was doing all of the other things.
Willie, you partially already answered this question, but 26 points total, and I think it was 17 rebounds for your centers tonight. Talk a little bit about how they really came out and shined, especially against 2 7-footers on the other end.
They were great. Both JV and Larry, they were awesome tonight. And we knew with this team, you have to go attack them. You can't sit back. You can't allow them to get downhill on you, post you up. You got to go attack them from the start. And we're all proud of our guys because they took the game plan and they executed it tonight.
Can you talk about the job your team, especially Herb, did on Damian? He really didn't seem comfortable out there. Didn't really get any kind of group tonight.
Herb was great. Najee did a good job on him. All the guys kind of switched out on him. But Herb is leading that charge, and he takes on the challenge once again, night in and night out. And he makes it tough on guys. I wouldn't want to have to try to score on Herb, that's for sure.
You guys were plus 15 in the possession battle tonight. Just how big is it when you have that big of an advantage, and especially when you're not shooting well? How much does that help out?
It's a tremendous help. When you're missing that many shots, like we did tonight, you got to go get some offensive rebounds. And we've been talking about it as a team. We didn't do a good job of it in Oklahoma, and that was one of the areas that they struggled in, is to rebound. Tonight, once again, we talked about it. We watched it. We challenged each other to be better, and we went out and got 11 offensive rebounds for 17 second-chance points. That's huge for us on a night that we're struggling to shoot the ball.
And the other part of that is only 6 turnovers. Just what did you think of the execution and just taking care of the ball?
Same thing. It's at a high level when we can have low turnover games and turn the other team over and score on them. And we kept the playbook simple, put the ball in CJ's hands, Z's hands, continue to move and try to attack the paint and get kickouts. And the dominoes kind of fall from there. So the guys did a great job of executing.
One thing I've kind of noticed when you guys are in that zone, a lot of your guys are just spreading their arms out like wide. Just what are you accomplishing when guys are just spreading their arms out like that?
It's the presentation that helps you. And we're blessed to have tremendous size across the board. And that length, when teams see that length in front of them, you cause more deflections, you get steals, you're active in your zone.
Really,
Go
ahead.
I know you were just talking about Trey and those big shots in that third quarter. What does it say about your team taking that run that Giannis went where he had 20 in that third quarter, and just how your team was able to respond and not kind of fall when he's kind of cooking like he was in the third quarter?
It was a big time growth moment for us, is to stay steady, stay poised. We talked about it before the game. Continue to trust in each other, trust in the work that we put in. Go out and execute. They'll make a run, but we're all proud of our guys. They stuck with it, and it was great to get this win tonight.
And you talked about that finish at the end. When you have this 9 left, like this is the kind of games that you need to kind of learn how to win. And this is certainly one of those growing moments, right?
For sure. These last several games of the season are all going to feel like this. And this is great. It's fun. We relish these opportunities. It's an opportunity to continue to grow. And the guys have done an amazing job of putting themselves in this position to play for more than the regular season.
Zion took that charge and I got overturned, but is that just an example of like how much this guy wants to win right now?
Absolutely. We all want it. Z, we want this for Z. He wants it, and it was a smart play. Try to take a charge. We know Giannis was going downhill on us. He had scored several points, but let's see if we can get a charge on him and make him more timid to go in there and just launch into us and go to the free throw line.
You guys had a mix of different coverages, but at the end there, I think Dame was trying to run pick and roll, and then Z was hedging. Like, the back-to-back hedge, they weren't really able to create an advantage off of that. What went into the decision to, like, okay, at this moment, we're just going to hedge it, or blitz that? Was that like trying to, like, have an element of surprise there or something like that?
So, late game situation against Oklahoma, Shai Gilgeous comes off to his left hand, very similar, right? Pick and roll. It's a little confusion with Larry and Herb. Still good defensive play. He hits a big shot. But we wanted to err on the side of being aggressive, and that's the thought that went behind that.
Obviously, you remember the previous matchup, but how do you go from giving up 141 points to lessening that by such a wide margin down to 100? Do you see this team again?
We'll chalk that up to the good Lord, giving us an opportunity. We'll chalk that up to the good Lord blessing our team with continued growth and just trying to move in the right direction, trying to continue to execute on both ends. And we brought it. We brought some force and toughness tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Coach Willie breaking down the game, man. Listen, the Pelicans, man, this was a good effort by the Pelicans and a very solid win against a really good team. And the Pelicans respond after that loss with a nice, really solid, respectable win against the Milwaukee Bucks. And like I said, that when Giannis started getting going, he had them 18 points by itself. I think it was like 18 or 20 points he scored by itself. The Pelicans stopped him, man, and started getting on there. I think Trey Murphy hit a couple of three-pointers that helped us get going. And then you see Larry hit the corner three off the dish by CJ. CJ dished out three really good assists right at that point to kind of stop Giannis from trying to get going there. And the Pelicans ultimately fought down the stretch in the fourth quarter to ultimately hold the damn lead and close the door on the Milwaukee Bucks. Shout out to the fam. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to bring in Lex. Lex, how you doing tonight? What's popping?
What up with you, boy? How you doing?
Pretty good. Now, listen, this was solid. This is a solid win. This is what we asked for, Lex. The
Yes.
Pelicans went out there and they beat a very quality Milwaukee club. No
Yeah.
ifs, ands, or buts about it. How I love Zion's physicality.
Mhm.
CJ made, like I just mentioned, he had some very key assists. He also scored to help out with the Pels in this situation. Trey wasn't hitting the three like we, like the rainwater, but he hit a couple
I
of
don't
them.
think nobody was.
Right,
832.
Right. Everybody. But despite the fact that wasn't going, the Pelicans still provided more than enough hustle and determination to take this win from the Milwaukee Bucks. What are your early thoughts before we hit the stats?
Well, I think the first thing that we're seeing is the Pels wanted it more, and they showed it. They were the activity, the small details, the things that you don't see on the stat sheet. Those are the things that matter. And even the small things like Herb's blocks. But I do want to. I just saw this. There's one thing that sticks out. The Pels had 11 steals compared to Milwaukee's 1.
That's right.
I mean, that like if you look at the team stats, rebounds, Milwaukee had 46, Pels had 48. You know, it was neck and neck. When you look at the assists, the Bucks had 21, the Pels had 22. It was right there. You know, there wasn't a huge difference. The difference was those steals. Even when you look at the blocks were right there. Bucks had 4, Pels had 5. And then the turnovers.
Yes.
The Bucks had 7 more turnovers than the Pels did. You know, but just looking at like there was a lot of matching up on a lot of these stats, but the assists, or excuse me, the steals was a landslide. It was you know, it was a shutout right there. Free throws, which is very interesting, you know, because you know the Bucks did go to the whole line a lot. But one thing I did want to say is that this game was interesting, not only because of things that I just pointed out, but I think the refs clearly had the opportunity to see like similar players that you know with similar games with Giannis and Zion, and I think that really helped the refs to call this game just by having both of them on the floor. Like when I know when Giannis was going on his 18 point, you know, in a row spree, you know, he was bumping guys. He was creating the contact, like how they say Zion does, as far as creating the contact.
Right.
And they were calling the foul for Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that on one end. And so Zion basically did the same thing. And they called it. And I think that's one thing that kind of really helps. And I hope this is, I mean, I know it may be kind of far-fetched, maybe too optimistic, but I'm going to say it anyway. I hope this was kind of like a turning point. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Giannis creates contact and he gets the foul called for him. So when Zion is making the contact, it's only right that you give him that call just like you would Giannis. Giannis creates, and he's powerful. He goes up into you. You know, so in Zion, he actually doesn't do it as much because I think with Zion, he understands, like he's a big boy. I mean, he hits you. It's like, you know, they always give the football analogies. It's like a DB hitting you. But the thing is that there's a lot of similarities. And I really feel like because Giannis was playing in the game, they were looking at Giannis. On the other end, well, hey, he went into the contact, you know, let's call it for him. Now, one thing I didn't like, and I do commend Zion for this, and Willie pointed out too, that was a beautiful charge that Zion took.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a charge. I mean, it's like dude was in his chest. I don't understand why but the fact that Zion took that, and then the thing is that was a real charge, people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause he was hit. It wasn't one of those things where Zion was falling back. Zion took that. Like all the mechanics of taking a charge, that was it right there. I think again, that would have gave Giannis his fifth foul or sixth foul or something.
I think it was his fifth, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think the fact that, you know, probably saw how many fouls he had, be like, oh shoot, we can't kick him out this game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, not for Zion. You know what I'm saying? Even though Zion, you know, I'm a star too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. But y'all get what I'm saying.
But you got help. You got technology helping you to make the call, and you still get it wrong.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
And he took that. He took that. So I mean, it was a good charge, and I don't care what they say. That was a charge, man. You know what I'm saying? We all know Zion don't take charges.
Nope.
If you think about it, I mean, everybody refers to Zion as a big man, and he is a big man. But as far as the metaphor, as far as within the game, he's not really a big man. I mean, the dude is 6'6". They're just again looking at his body and and obviously how he plays. He's a power guy, but that doesn't really deem him quote unquote a big man, even though they call him that. But I mean, he played a good game. He played a really good game on today. I'm glad he at the end in third quarter, Giannis owned the third. Zion owned the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
like,
right.
yeah. I'm like, I will take that. I will take that. Yeah, Giannis, you had 20 points in a row. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I know Zion was missing some early free throws, Big Q.
Mm.
I'm about to, tap into your ego a little bit. But boy, was, Zion clutch at the free throw line. He was knocking them down. Like he really focused and locked in and knocked those free throws down. I think like the last few free throws he took, I think out of like 6 or 7, he had just missed one. Out of those, and I'm talking about in the fourth quarter. So and he went to what, he took 16, right?
That's right, 10 to 16.
Yeah. I mean, like when it really counted, he knocked those free throws down.
He did.
And we needed that. And I know he did miss some. I'm not, and I will say that he's gotten a whole lot better at the charity stripe. I think in this game he did, struggle a little bit, but he did knock them down in the clutch when it was time to really lock in. And that's one thing that we got to have. Sometimes, during the course of the game, you miss shots, but sometimes, you hit a key 3 at the right time. You know what I'm saying? It kind of covers all those other things like earlier in the game because it's the timing in which it happened. So, I mean, that always counts as well. CJ, I like what he did in the first half. JV, I like what he did as well. I'm glad, and I'm gonna recognize someone, Big Q. Okay, so don't
Okay.
get too happy.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say, but I'm not
on tonight.
Okay.
I did. There were some things that I saw. They're baby steps, but they're steps, and we can recognize baby steps because when a baby starts walking, that's a big deal, right?
Right.
As well as running. So baby steps do matter.
Okay.
I like the fact that Willie did. He was assertive in playing JV, keeping him in the game. He did play Larry Nance, but again, I think he understood, man, we going up against the Twin Towers. And I told you that on the last
Yes.
yeah, I mentioned that as far as, maybe playing Cody Zeller, because obviously we know how, he is with JV, but this was just as good. I'll take that. I'm glad he played him because the thing is like, look, you can't teach height. You can't teach 7 foot. You know what I'm saying? Look, if they tall down there, trying to get the rebound, look, we all gonna be tall down there together, getting the rebound. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like that. That mean I like the 50-50 chances. And we actually had 2 more rebounds than them.
Yeah, and Lex, I can appreciate you giving Willie Green a shout out right there. Giving him some not credit, but give him a compliment.
I'm recognizing him. Recognize is a nice word. The credit
Right.
he's been giving credit out to.
That's why I wouldn't even go there. I'm not.
Teams. Beating the Pels, and it's like dog. At some point, you got to stop giving credit and be like, man, I jacked this thing up. I could have did better. And I think that's what I want to hear. You know, it's like it's not about giving the other team credit. It's about you doing better so you don't have to give them credit. But let me give back to the positive stuff, because there's a few other things that he did, and I wanted to point out. Willie Green played Matt Ryan and Jayhawk tonight. Okay,
That's right.
Can we get a round of applause for that?
Oh, you most certainly can. Yeah,
Okay.
indeed.
I mean, I know somebody up in the chat is excited about that. Okay, hey, he did play them, and they played for a little bit, not just for a minute or 3 minutes. They played. Now, their production, it wasn't the greatest, but you know, that's what kind of happens when you don't get a lot of playing time, right? But he did play them. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. The other thing is that a timeout was called. I don't know if it was the Bucks that called the timeout or the Pelicans, but they went back into the game immediately. Well, you know what? It was the Bucks, because it was the Bucks' possession. Okay, so they inbound the ball. Dame came off of a screen from Giannis, and he hit a three. And Willie Green immediately called a timeout.
That's
and
right.
It's funny because the refs were looking like, okay, is it a timeout? Because we know that Willie don't do that, right? That was something that he usually does not do. But he immediately called that timeout. That was a good timeout. That was a very good timeout. Because the thing is that it's like, no, we don't want to get that dude. Y'all hear me? We don't want to get that dude going.
Right.
That's a problem. That
Right.
that shot looked too good. It was too wet. And you know what? I think it was an unction. I don't know if y'all know what that is right there, but Willie had an unction. I'm getting, because Willie was thanking the Lord and everything. Well, when you have an unction, your spirit speaks to you, okay? And that's what happened right there. It really spoke to him. So he caught that timeout. Be like, look, don't let that happen again. Okay? Don't let that happen again. And you know what? Let me tell you something. After that, golly, man. And I said this in my flash report. Not every time do you have to switch, but man, I saw this like where they were setting screens. Giannis was setting screens for Dame, and Zion came out and hedged. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. He hedged like it was a trap, and then he released once Dame's man, which was Herb, recovered on him. He did that like 2 times in like one play, and it was so beautiful. I'm like, can I see more of the hedging and holding? Like, that was so team defense. And then the thing is, he quickly returned back to his man. Now, I know there was some switching, but those switches were sharp. Did you see them switches, Big Q?
Yeah, I was impressed with what was going on. It was definitely dialed in on.
They locked it up.
Yes.
Y'all hear me? That was beautiful team defensive basketball right there. That was beautiful. I love seeing that. I've never seen it that sharp. I think that's probably like the best. And they did that, and they got stops.
Mm-hmm.
They got stops. They really did. And then the thing is, because they were so quick with them and so sharp with them, they were turnovers. They were steals. Henceforth, that's why we had all those steals. But that was gorgeous. That really was. I was like, man, now this is a whole nother level of defense. When they're playing defense like that, that's a whole nother level. But I really like their energy. They were really determined to get this win. Giannis, he did, again, it's a game of runs. Giannis, he went on his run by himself.
Yep.
But, hey, we have a Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can have that third, but we got the fourth. So yeah, I was really pleased with those things. A lot of good things. We need this and more from here on out. Everything that we, those things that I mentioned.
Yeah, this was and Willie alluded to this in his in the postseason, the post game press conference about the fact that the Pelicans were, feeling this playoff environment in the Smoothie King Center, and it was exactly the case. Defense locked in. Now, like we talked about, the 3-point shooting was off, as we touched down on some of the statistics, and then also Trey Murphy dunked on Giannis. I'm like, why ain't anybody, talking about that? I want to say he anyway.
It's trigger. We know why.
I'm like, man, why they ain't get Buck off that boy? Just crowned him. But anyway, the thing, you look at the statistics. Let's hit the team stats, fam. We get individual, then we'll get over to the Boston preview. 36 of 91. And Lexxah she alluded to a lot of these statistics in her breakdown. 39.6 Pelicans, just under 40% from the field. You can see the 3-point shooting was not that good. They were 8 of 32 for 25% flat. The Bucks shot 14 of 39 for almost 36%. But if you look at the free throws, the Pelicans got to the line tonight. 34 attempts, 27 of 34 versus 10 of 19 by the Bucks. They were 52.6 Pelicans, almost 79.4%. Rebounds 48 to 46 with 11 offensive rebound by the Pelicans. You can see the assist game there. Alex talked about the steal, which the steal game was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
11-1 on the steals, 5-4 on the blocks, and single-digit turnovers by the Pelicans tonight. So they had 7 turnovers tonight, while the Bucks doubled that with 14. So they even won the points in the paint game against the Bucks, 52 to 44 there as well. So it was a very smooth performance in terms of the defense. Herb Jones, what could you say about Herb's performance and what he did? I mean, he's just phenomenal. Zion finished tonight and took the challenge against the Greek Freak. 28 points in 33 minutes of action. He went to the foul line 16 times, converted 10 to 16, and Lex is 100% right. When those clutch free throws, when he finally got to the line, he was able to concentrate and knock down those free throws that helped sustain that lead. So that was real big by Zion, 9 of 15 from the field. 25 from CJ McCollum in 39 minutes, 9 of 24 from the field, 3 of 9, perfect from the foul line. But CJ was hitting those shots. He got it going. 25 points. He had 7 rebounds as well as 7 assists by CJ. And like I said, he had 3 assists in a row where he found Trey Murphy for 2 3-pointers after that Giannis 20 points straight. Then he found Larry in the corner for another 3. So 7 assists by him. He had plus 12 on the plus minus, 17 by Vail in 23 minutes. He was 7 of 13 from the field. He finished with a double-double, 17 points, 10 rebounds for Vail, plus 2 on that. And then, of course, Trey Murphy, 39 minutes of action, 15 points, 11 boards by Trigger, 5 assists and 2 steals by Trey Murphy. And, of course, 11 from Herb Jones.
Wow.
What can I say about Herb? 11 points in 37 minutes of action. He was able to knock down a 3, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 4 rebounds, 5 personal fouls. Still wasn't enough. Herb just made it work, played really solid defense. And, of course, we had Larry Nance played 25 minutes, had some solid production, 9.7 boards, 3 steals, 3 assists for Larry off the bench. Najee in 23 minutes, didn't give us a bucket, was out there doing a few things, 3 rebounds. We've seen Jayhawk get 15 minutes tonight. He didn't.
All right, that's a round of applause right there.
He got 15 tonight. Somebody
that's better than 3 minutes, y'all.
Well, somebody asked us in the previous stream about, do you think Jayhawk will get minutes? I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely, because Jose Alvarado,
Somebody's hurt.
like
Yeah.
Jose was not going to be able to play. So indeed, so he did. He got 15 minutes tonight. He was plus 10 on the plus minus. He had 2 points. He was 0 for 2 from downtown and 0 for 3 from the field. So it wasn't falling for him like talking about. And even Matt Ryan got 5 minutes out there. He picked up one foul, but he got 5 minutes. He tried to shoot the ball. He was 0-2 from the field and 0 for 1 from downtown. So it was, but Willie mixed them in the bench rotation. And of course, you see the Greek Freak led with 35 points, 20 apiece by Lillard and B in the matchup. Wasn't enough. Pels stuffing out. They get their 45th win of the season. Let me see if I can get the standings up for the family
5
members.
more, and we'll have 50.
5 to 50. Because people is asking us, "Hey, Q, y'all think they're gonna get 50 wins?"
Somebody pointed out how many games we had left. I think it was 9 now.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up.
Oh, okay.
Lex. You don't even have to guess at that thing. But yes, indeed, man. 5 wins is very doable as long as the Pelicans keep playing like this. That's what I'm saying about if they can find a floor to remain on and build from. Man, like I said, when their minds are right, they're a difficult team to deal with. Yeah, they got the Celtics, the Suns, the Magic, Spurs. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games remaining. Can they get 50 wins on the season with 9 games remaining? Next up, the Celtics, then the Suns, then the Magic, then the Spurs, then the Suns again, the Trailblazers, Kings, Warriors, and the Lakers. Can they get 5 of those 9 to get 50? I'm trying to see if we can get all of it. I don't think we can get all of it, but we'll see how it all.
We got to make that effort because this is this is a grand opportunity for this team. I don't know where we stand as far as the toughest stretch, because I know they said the Suns, they have the toughest within the whole league. They have the toughest schedule. I've been hearing a lot of people say that. So I don't know where the Pelicans are. I feel like it's a tough, this stretch is a tough schedule, but the Pels, because they lack like the playoff experience, they don't have a lot of reps. I mean, just as a team, they've gotten those reps this season, but because they lack that playoff experience, they do have to learn quick, fast, and in a hurry. And everybody from mainstream media, podcasts, social media, in the West, since the post All-Star, in the West, the playoffs already started. These games with the Western Conference, it's so tight. They actually show that the gap between the East, between 1 and 2 in the East, is for the West, it's between the 1 and 9th seed. Like almost everybody has a lot of teams in the West are 40 wins, 40 plus wins right now between the 1 and 9 seed. Whereas in the East, it's not like that. You basically have 2 teams that are doing well, or not doing well, but that have 40 above 40 plus wins. So the West has already started the playoffs. This is a great opportunity for the Pels to prepare for the playoffs. We really don't want an easy schedule. We want a tough schedule so that we can go into the playoffs with a lot of toughness. So we can go into the playoffs ready. The more ready and prepared this team is because of that lack of experience, the better. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to it, I mean, obviously, we want to make sure we get in. We don't want to, we want to control our own destiny and get these wins. But I think it tightens up on the focus as well. Allowing, I know Larry Nance talked about Zion as far as, in the locker room. Zion isn't joking a lot. He has that at a very, very minimum right now. Like, he's really locked in. He's listening to his music.
Right.
He's really zoning in on, look, we got to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
We want more of that. We have to, because again, that experience, whether we want to believe it or not, it is going to show up. And so to be in that mindset, knowing, okay, we can't sleep on Boston. We can't sleep on Phoenix. We can't sleep on, even the Warriors and the Lakers. The teams that are below 500 that have no hope at all, like they're done. Like, they're out of playoff contention, play-in contention. We can't sleep on them either. Because if they beat the Pels, they ain't gonna do nothing with the win. They can do absolutely nothing. So we might as well win it. We got to lock in. They're going to come in and do everything they can to keep us from getting the win. That's what makes those type teams so dangerous coming down the stretch. So that lock in, that focus for this team, it's golden. It's so needed, because the thing is, we don't want to go in being too relaxed, playing down to the competition. We gotta play hard. Gotta play with an edge. Gotta play with that energy. Gotta want it more. All those things are very key for this stretch.
Indeed, Lex. Yeah, we're gonna cross over to the Boston matchup, man, coming up next, because that's the best team record-wise in NBA. Let's hear from Trey Murphy, man, before we get ready to kind of bounce over. Here we go.
In the past couple of weeks, 11 rebounds. I guess what was working for you on the glass tonight, you think?
Effort. I think that's really it. My dad was in the crowd. He had a mad look on his face, so I was trying to make him a little more happy by rebounding the ball. I think that's really what it is.
Did you see him afterwards? Were you like 11 or anything?
When I went back to the bench, like the last time before the game ended, I looked at him. He was very happy. So glad to make Pops happy.
Look, you guys, I think, shot 25% from three. I mean, what does it say about this team that on a night when shots weren't really falling that much, you guys were still able to beat a good team?
Defense, man. Whenever all five guys are out there locking up, it's tough to beat us, no matter if we hit shots or not. And I think that's been what we've been hanging our hat on, especially post All-Star break, understanding the sense of urgency as well as what time it is. Like, we're trying to make a run in the playoffs, and we understand every single game means a lot, especially in the West. Like, right now, if we would have had this record in the West last year, what place would we have been in? Like third, fourth? Yeah, and the West is getting better. So just got to make sure we keep it up.
We've been talking all year about, late game execution, clutch games. When things are going well for y'all like they did tonight, what are some of the main areas of focus?
I mean, just getting Z the ball. That's really what it is. I mean, he's a matchup nightmare. And whenever he's making decisions and getting to the line, kicking out the shooters, it's tough for the opposing defense. And I think that's really what it is.
And for him, how important do you think it is just to have just experience in these situations, being that guy playing in these situations, especially late in the season where all of these wins really matter?
Yeah, we need him. I mean, experience is your best teacher. And, we let one go with the OKC game. And I definitely think we make steps in the right direction with this game. And that's what the playoffs is going to come down to. They're going to be tight games. It's going to be slow at times. And we just got to figure a way to, make it happen.
Trey, what was it like watching Z and Giannis battle each other, two of the strongest, most athletic guys in the league tonight?
Yeah, no, those are two physical specimens. Like, they are very special individuals. And, it's really cool seeing that, especially for me, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was at Rice University. And now I'm here playing against the best players in the world. Like, when you take a step back and really think about it and process it, it's pretty cool. I can't lie to you. So just thankful, really.
And then what was it like seeing also Zion defensively? We've been talking about it with you guys for weeks now, but, he's guarding Giannis 1 second, then handling Brook Lopez, and then switching out and late, getting Damian Lillard, making sure that he had to kick the ball.
So what would you grade Giannis? What would you grade Z's defense now? Hey, I've been seeing some A. I'm gonna say A. I'm not gonna say A plus, but I've been seeing some A effort defense from Z recently. Yeah, we can accept that.
You guys were plus 15 in the possession battle tonight. Low turnover night. You got after it on the offensive glass. One, have you ever seen like a differential like that big? Just having like 15 more shots than the opponent. Two, like how big is it to continue that kind of effort to get those extra possessions, and especially on nights when you're not shooting well?
Yeah, super important. That's been the biggest thing we've been trying to focus on. Shoot around, coach challenge us to, offensive rebound a lot more, get us extra possessions because we're trying to shoot more threes. And if we miss those threes, you crash with the elbows. A lot of times the ball's going to come around that area. And then also if we don't get the rebound, we're also set up in our defense because we're already back. And so I just think that offensive rebound has been a big key to getting us more possessions and more threes. Highest percentage three is an offensive rebound spray out. So, yeah.
Trey, I know every game in the NBA is tough, but what is it like when you're playing the schedule with OKC, Milwaukee, you got Boston coming up? How much does that kind of prepare you for the playoffs, you feel like?
That shit fun, I can't lie. Sorry for cussing. But it's a lot of fun. I can't lie. It is a lot of fun. Obviously you love the 30-point wins because, it is what it is, but you play in the NBA to compete against the best players in the world, and that's where it's the most fun.
What you think you saw C take that charge?
I was hyped. I can't lie. I don't show too much. I show emotion sometimes, but I was really hyped for Z on that one as well. Also, just want to give a shout out to my mom. It's her birthday today. So if y'all are seeing this, wish my mom a happy birthday. Thank you. Don't cut that out.
Gotta love Trey Murphy, man. Shout out to that young man. Hey, this is the thing, though, about the Pelicans tonight. Great defensive effort. Low turnovers. They got to the foul line and took advantage when they did get to the foul line. Zion was physical tonight. When you go up against a team like Milwaukee and you have the Greek Freak over there with him and what he was doing, 20 points by himself did his own run. And then he responded with physicality as well. He went at him. And I remember in past games, he did kind of give him a little too much respect. Now it's a whole nother element. And it's showing that the Pelicans could play with some of these really good teams. You heard Trey allude to that and talk about matchups against OKC, tonight's matchup against the Bucks, and now the upcoming matchup against the Boston Celtics, who have cooled down a little bit. They've lost 2 in a row, which means that we'll have their undivided attention come Saturday. So it's going to be a very interesting game. This the best team in the NBA when you're talking about statistically. 57-16, 8-2 over the last 10. Like I said, they're currently on a 2-game losing streak right now, and so they'll have the Pelicans. We'll have their attention. So Lex getting ready to lead into this matchup against those Celtics. We will probably more than likely have to have a similar effort, very similar effort, low turnovers, a live defense, guys stepping up, playing. It would help for us to get the 3-ball, but a live defensive performance like we had tonight, very similar type of style of play that we would need to accomplish a win against them Celtics. So let's kind of get into that breakdown and how we need to get the dub.
They need to smell blood. They need to smell blood. They're wounded right now. They're wounded. It's just like a lion going after a gazelle. That gazelle is wounded. We need to pounce on their behinds. And I mean that, like, seriously choose violence. Because in their minds, they're thinking, okay, well, we going to take it out on the Pels. I think not. We need to remind them, nah, y'all still wounded. And we about to wound you even more. And again, I want to put my disclaimer. I ain't trying to, hurt anybody, but we got to go for the kill. You know what I'm saying?
Lex been real aggressive. She been
Yeah.
real aggressive over the last couple
Yes.
weeks.
Playoffs is coming. Do you
Mm.
all know playoffs is a different breed?
Yes.
It's a different breed. It's not like regular season. It's a totally different breed of a game. And so that's why I've talked about, the violence and, just really getting back, like, standing on business because it's that serious. The playoffs is coming and this team, again, lacks experience. Even Trigger said that experience is the best teacher. That's why getting those reps, and we talk about all the time with, Jayhawk and Matt Ryan getting in the games, those reps. You know what I'm saying? It's experience. That stuff matters. That's the only way that you learn and you can truly grow. So, yeah, when the Celtics come into town, they're wounded right now. The same team beat them twice. Yeah, they're wounded. So we need to smell blood and we need to get up in them early. We need to assure them that they have no hope, and we need to give them no hope that they can win this game. This was a great blueprint. I think there was a lot of things that the Pels as a team went on another level on tonight. Defensively, we saw that in the second half for sure. They played solid D like throughout the whole game, but that second half, especially in the fourth, the way that they were so sharp on their switches, on the hedging and the holding, getting back, the recovery time to get back to their man, to and then shoot into those lanes because they were just on it. They were ahead. They had that step on defense. That's the type of defense that you have to play. And if this whole team is doing that, definitely we're going to win this game. I mean, did y'all see the stat again? The 11 steals compared to the Bucks 1 steal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's going to make a huge difference. That was the difference maker on tonight. That was the biggest difference maker. Cuz the Bucks had a better a 3-point percentage than the Pels. They had a better field goal percentage than the Pels, but yet the Pels still won. Why? Well, those steals, again, like the rebounds, they were possessions. Well, possessions lead to more opportunities. And the opportunities were capitalized more so than not. So, I mean, that was a big deal. But yeah, definitely tonight was a huge step with that defensive prowess. Also, there's nobody on their team that can guard Zion.
Nope.
There's nobody on their team, and I know Porzingis, he did not play. When we dump it down to Zion, when we dump it down to Jonas, this team is actually small. They do have length, but they're little guys. They don't have the depth. And we on our wings, we have a lot of length. Jonas, we have length there. But the thing is that when we played them, they had no answer for the front court. They didn't have an answer, and they still don't have an answer. I feel like, that's our biggest edge. And I think, again, that's the bread and butter of this team. We gotta exploit that. We definitely have to exploit that. And definitely with Zion. I mean, we know what he did to them the last time. They couldn't do anything with them. And then at the end of the game, Zion's got to have that ball in his hands. We didn't do that against the Thunder, but we did against the Bucks on tonight. We got to keep doing that because we know when the ball's in Zion's hands, his gravity is unmatched.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job tonight.
Yeah.
When we needed him to step up, we talked there nauseam about the free throws, hitting that at the appointed times, the clutch moments, even his defense standing up. We mentioned him taking the charge. Herb Jones' defense, Trey Murphy's rebounding, and of course he hit a couple of shots. You seen Larry get involved. You seen C.J. McCollum, who put on a solid affair, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 29 points. I think it was 28, 29 points. So they got it working, and they played. And not to discount Valanciunas, who had a double-double, 17 and 10. He was in there doing his thing. So if we cross over to the Boston and look at their statistics, like let's talk about some of the stats. And I know they lost the last couple of games, but look at the Boston stats, Lex, for what they've been doing. They've actually really did they're tops in a lot of stuff, man. You want to talk about points per game? They number 2 in the NBA, top 6 in opponents' point per game.
Yeah,
top
they're
10
only
field goal percentage, second in opposing field goal percentage. 3-pointers made, they're number 1 in the NBA. 3-pointers attempted, they're number 1 in the NBA. 3-point percentage, they're third. Free throw percentage, 6. Top 2 rebounds, top 2. It's just ridiculous. Let's jump here. I'm gonna give you a chance to respond to that, Lex. Zion's on the
in a game where you guys struggle with the outside shot, y'all are still able to beat a good team.
Just staying consistent and trusting our game, and also just attacking the basket. That helped a lot.
You got a pretty high on the pick and roll defense against Dame there late in the game. Just how are you feeling as a defender in space? In the past few weeks and tonight.
You already know what I'm about to say, man. You tell me, man. What do you think? I'm actually curious. Like, you can say, Z, I don't think it's there. Like, what do you think? I'm curious.
I thought it looked great.
You know what? I can accept that. Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good on the defensive end. I know there are things that I still definitely didn't improve on, but especially when like our guards like Herb and Naj are fighting over a screen and trying to get back. Gotta do the best I can to at least hold the guard off as much as possible. So I definitely feel like there's been improvements there for me.
Yeah, and you were like the primary defender on Giannis, a lot in that game. Just, what is that challenge like of having to check that guy?
Man, I thought I attacked the basket. I mean, he attacks with force, and then he gets to the free throw line, and I think he missed his first few, but then he started knocking them down. But he has a high motor. I got to give him his respect on that. He has a high motor, and he's always on the attack. So I said it in my post-game interview. I love competing against him. I mean, he's a competitor, and like I said, these games we got, I'm excited for each one, just taking it game by game.
Yeah, you said after that OKC game a couple of nights ago, I got to demand the ball more late in the game. How would you just assess the way you handled those late game situations tonight?
You tell me, man. Come on. What you think? I want to hear your, like I said, you can be real and say, I don't think it was there, but what you think?
You got to the basket. That was important. Gotta make the free throws. That's
man, I'm telling you.
But you got to the basket.
What was I from the free throw today? 10 and 16? 13, 16 would have been better. But I said it last game. Me and CJ talked about it. If we're gonna lose certain games, just at least we want to do it the right way, knowing that we got the shots we wanted. So that was the emphasis on tonight, and we were able to get the win.
And it's been a learning process all year for y'all in those late game situations. Where do you feel like y'all have made the most progress, and where do you feel like y'all need to still improve?
We definitely made progress with executing with force, but where the improvement for us is being consistent with it. Like, if we have 4 games in a row where they're late games, instead of having 1 out of 4 where we executed, like 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4 is where we are aiming for.
And JB, Larry Nance, combined for 26 points, 17 rebounds. Just how big Z was that coming off of an OKC game where you guys were actually out-rebounded by a smaller team?
Ooh, it's close rebounding. That was big for us, especially with JV. His energy was there from the start. And then Larry, especially on the defensive end, just like playing in coverage and able to kind of cat and mouse the big and the guard is definitely great for us. So those two had a really great game.
And Trey had 11 rebounds tonight. How much has he improved in that department in your eyes? I know we've asked you, I think, probably a few times over the last few months or so.
He's definitely improved because, man, there are some rebounds where I'm like, oh, I got it. And there go Murph soaring in. But, he's definitely he's put some energy into that, and it's been showing over time.
Milwaukee's kind of unique where Brooke just sits in the paint like, the whole game. And just want to know, like, when they have someone doing that, plus with a length like, someone like Giannis provides, and they're kind of a big team, just how are you navigating those spaces and like, what's your decision-making process here when you see, like, okay, there's a lot of people in the paint, how should I navigate this versus spray out to shooters and that kind of stuff?
There's a lot of things to look at. A few would be not just looking at where Brooke is. If Giannis is guarding me, then I know he's not tracking me from somewhere else. It's looking at where the rest of the help defense is, because some teams, when I attack the gaps, they'll kind of hedge and then get back to my shooters. Other teams will stay there and let me pass it to my shooters. But with a combo like Giannis and Brooke, you almost got to like kind of play at their feet. Because if they're there and they can just jump straight up, it's real difficult to try to finish shots over them. So it's just kind of playing at their feet and just getting it right angles and timing it right.
Is it one of those things where you kind of have to like bring the contact to them? You got to finish through rather than like over.
Bringing the contact to them, I know sometimes I do it, but the refs aren't going to give me those calls because I initiated the contact. So, like I said, it's just kind of finding those angles and just kind of knowing when to attack.
And just one more thing on the defensive end, like all season long, you've been really good in those situations where you are hedging out like 20, 30 feet from the basket. Just tonight, you had a lot of different coverages. What went into the thought process late game? Days bringing you up for a pick and roll. Cool, like all night you guys have played it long way, but right now we're about to hedge this.
You know what? I got to give Herb all credit on that. I'm talking about like as he was bringing the ball up the court, Herb goes, "We're about to blitz him on this one," and I was gonna like kind of turn around and ask the coaches like, "Are we blitzing?" But I mean, the way he said it, I was like, you know what? Let's blitz him. So yeah, I got to give her all credit on that. He made that call, and we were just able to execute it.
People take charges on you. What was kind of going through your mind when Giannis is coming at you? You try to take the charge right there.
And was it a charge?
I think the refs did the best they could with the call. I fully agree with it, but I thought I was there. I thought I was there. That might have been my first charge since I was like 12. But they took it away from me. It was crazy, but
Dang.
I knew he was trying to get downhill, so I was just trying to anticipate like which way he would go and just try to sell it, but I didn't get there in time.
I know every game in the NBA is tough, but what is this stretch of games with top 3 teams in the Eastern and the Western Conference, man? How does this kind of prepare you for the playoffs in OKC?
Because these games are definitely playoff atmosphere like type games. Every game matters. I've said that in interviews where, how many games we got left? 10, 9. Each game matters, especially with how the standings are. So I don't know what's going on in the East too much, but every game matters for us, and I know every game probably matters for them. So the intensity is definitely gearing up towards playoffs. So I think that's why I definitely enjoy these games so much.
Are you watching the standings a lot? Are you like paying attention?
Like I said, I take it game by game, and I mean, we got to put ourselves in a great position. So, I mean, we have to win. But honestly, whatever cards are dealt us, we try to make some shape. All right, you guys have a great night.
All right, I'm very happy. Zion Williams, man, after a very lively press conference. Shout out to Zion and the Pelicans, man, getting the dub tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. And we move on, like we said, to the Celtics matchup. And let's put the cap on it, Lex. Like I said, the Celtics, top team in the NBA in terms of their record. This will be a difficult matchup for the Pels. But, man, listen, like we talked about, and we were anticipating these stretch of games starting with OKC. We've seen what happened with that. Now we've seen the Milwaukee matchup, the Celtics up on Saturday. And then, of course, later on we have other matchups. But this is the stretch of games where we anticipate the Pelicans making that step. You just got to love the energy and the passion, the intelligence. And Zion mentioned consistency. That's the biggest thing to the Pelicans, man.
Yes.
Consistency. So they're picking it up. They're learning. You see, he talked about Herb calling the play, calling the play. Let's do this.
That was beautiful.
Yes.
We've been talking about that.
Yes. So
the players got to do it.
You got it. I said you got it.
I was just saying, like, at some point in time, like, as far as, how we've been talking about Willie, we know that Willie is going to do what he does. We can't do anything about that. This thing comes down to the players. It's like you all have gotten the reps. Guys got to step up. Herb, he's stepping up, as far as with the defensive leadership. Zion, being the star and being the guy on this team, he's stepping it up there. Like, it's got to be like, look, you know what? That play's not going to work. We going to do this. Give me that rock. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Zion, we going to blitz on this. Oh, did the coach? Well, shoot. You know what, Herb? We going to do what you say we going to do. We going to blitz. That's what this team has to have, because the coach is not out there. The coach isn't out there. Sometimes you got to call audible. Peyton Manning did it all the time. Sorry, I'm going to football a little bit, but y'all can understand the analogy. But sometimes you got to change up the play. You got to change up the cards. And that's not a bad thing. It's like, look, got the foundation of what Willie Green wants to do, but you know what, Willie, you ain't out here. You don't see what we see. Like, you know what? I got an opening. Are you sure? Hey, man, I got an opening. Hey, man, I'm taking this defensive assignment. Are you sure? Hey, man, I'm taking this defensive assignment. This is my matchup. Go guard somebody else. That's what we got to have. That's what we have to have. Hey, yo, CJ, come here. Hey, man, we need Portland CJ. We need that dude. We need you to have a better game. That's what we have to have. It's the players. It's not Willie. All that, the talk that we had, and I've kind of, gone back to things because, we've all said, with Willie and things that he has problems with. But at the end of the day, it's got to be the players to make those calls, to make those crucial calls, to make those changes. If they see something, or, hey, they changed up something, it was really quick, we got to respond, we got to switch it up a little bit, change some small details, do it. I mean, these guys are smart enough and, know the game well enough to make those calls. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely like, what he was saying, the stuff, that Herb's doing, that Zion's doing. And then not only that, one thing that Willie Green did say is that how, the team is rallying behind Zion. And we've been talking about this, haven't we, Big Q, all season?
Yes.
And he's actually said that a few times in his pressers. Like, that's what we have to have, because when you look at these other teams, that's what they're doing. They know who that guy is on the team that, okay, we got to go to him. We got to do that. So I'm really loving that, because that's what this team has been really starving for, like, for most of the season. And we've kind of reached a point where we're starting to see all those things come into fruition.
Yes. And it couldn't have happened at a better time than what we are right now as we're approaching the playoffs. And like you said, we are already in the playoffs, the Western Conference, how competitive it is. It's phenomenal basketball tonight by the Pelicans. Have to maintain this level of consistency. Like I said, when we usually lose to some of these teams, man, it's usually we're winning the game and then we can't close the game. And that's something, if we can find the answer for that and do what we did tonight. Like, they were very, like I said, if you go back and watch this game, the defense was solid as hell. They were running, putting hands in the face of these players. They were playing defense. Zion, like you said, Zion didn't take a charge since he was 12. So he threw that out.
That was comical. I'm like, dang, Zion, you didn't take one in college?
That's something he doesn't do that.
What about high school? Well,
Right.
nah, he was a man amongst boys up in high school. So, but
Yes.
college.
Yeah, this was a solid affair. Like, and then of course, really, I like the fact that they kept the turnovers in single digits against the Milwaukee Bucks. They didn't give them any extra opportunities to to score off a turnover. 7 turnovers tonight for the Pelicans. So
that was good. We gonna need like maybe 3 or 0 turnovers in the next game, and every game after that.
Or at least right. If we can keep it 10 and below, that would be awesome, especially when you get into the playoffs, when you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You want to minimize those turnovers as much as you possibly can and capitalize on all opportunities that you can get. So anyway, listen, fam, phenomenal matchup tonight by the Pelicans. They were able to take care of business. They beat the Bucks, and man, this was a tremendous win for the Pelicans. Let's see how they look on Saturday against the Boston Celtics, man, the best team record-wise in the NBA. So we kind of getting the people gonna have to sit up and take notice, man. Something tells me it's gonna be a super competitive game against Boston. And it'll test a lot of stuff about us. So anyway, with that being said, we're gonna get out on that. Listen, I appreciate all you guys for chiming in. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed. PPR representing in this thing. The Pels hold down and get the victory against this Buck Club, man. Very proud of the Pelicans. Let's keep this energy going. So anyway, with that being said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the stream on your social media feed, fam. And we're going to catch up with you on the next one. Much love, and go Pels.
Go Pels.
Show us the edge. Yes. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Trying to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, play with the edge, show me the edge, play with the edge, show me the edge, show me the edge, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the alcohol. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, you want it all. This ain't a blood on blood, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show them the proof, show them that it shall be done. Show me the edge,
Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform.